Hi friends, very good evening. In today's video, I will be briefly talking about XIRR, which is a function in finance which we use for calculating returns. But before that, please note that in this video, towards the end, there is a disclaimer which you need to go through. Okay, now whatever I will be sharing about this concept is basically my understanding, which may or may not be completely accurate. So the viewers or the uh, investors need to have their own understanding about the same and need to consult their own investment advisors for making any financial decisions. Okay, now what is XIRR? Basically, I've tried to read through things. It's nothing but the extended internal rate of return. Now, various topics are not very easy to understand, but in layman perspective. So what I've done is, uh, let's say, for example, if you have an investment, I've just prepared an Excel, and you have a 5-year investment horizon, and you started investing, let's say, 1st January 2000, you put 100 rupees, and then there was no investment made for next 5 years, and towards the end of the 5th year you got 200 rupees back. So what would be your return? Now what would be the return would be, one would be to calculate the simple return, which would be, you take the average, which means I made whatever money over 5 years. That means 100 became 200. That means 100 rupees divided by 5 years, so 20%. This would be one way of calculating return, but this is not a real accurate measure of your return. That the more accurate measure would be to calculate the overall compounded return which you would make. So what happens is, if there are in this particular case, you would need to use Excel as one of your tools, Microsoft Excel, and use an XIRR function, which is nothing but overall method to calculate your compounded annual growth rate return with multiple cash flows, as I will explain. Here I'm taking only one cash flow as an example. So you use the XIRR formula to calculate what is your compounded return on your investment. So in this particular case, it is 14.85%. So if you want, you can also check whether this is correct or not. And the best way to check is, if 100 was compounded using the compounding formula at 14.85% over 5 years, it would again become 200. Now you would say that you could simply use a CAGR formula, but the point is, there could be various situations where there are more than one investments made and complicated cash flows. So in that case, CAGR is not accurate. That is where XIRR is used to calculate the overall average compounded CAGR return, because every investment would have a different compounding CAGR. So how do you calculate? So you take, the system calculates the overall average compounded return. So let's take another example. You had 100 rupees in the year 2000, then no investment in 2001. In 2002, you had 50 rupees again invested. 2003, there was no investment. 2004, there was no money invested. 2005, you got your 200 rupees back. So here the effective return XIRR is 6.81, or the compounded return on the total money, which is 150 rupees, and it became 200 over a period of time, is 6.81%. Now how do I verify this? So to verify this, for example, you can do is, you can check the 100 rupees, you can put the compounding interest formula at 100, 1.0681 raised to the power 5, as I had shared in the earlier example also. It will become 139.0143. And the 50 rupees which was invested in 2002 was invested for the remaining period of 3 years, so it became 60.92. So if you add up, this will approximately add up to 199.94, which is approximately 200 rupees. So you have verified that the overall compounding return, or XIRR, of your investment is 6.81%. So this is basic idea of the concept which I wanted to share. Now I would be sharing the disclaimer which I would share at the end of every video. Please note that this is a free educational video purely for the purpose of learning and viewer investor education only. This should in no manner be considered as any kind of an advice, offer, a promotion to sell anything. Investments are subject to market risks. Past returns are no manner or guarantee of future returns. There are no guarantees of accuracy of the content stated. The viewers of this video must do so at their own due diligence. I will not be responsible for any kind of financial loss on account of contents of this stated in this video. Viewers must consult their own financial experts before arriving at any financial decisions. And lastly, this is my understanding of the thing which I have said, which may or may not be completely accurate. Thank you very much. Take care.